everybody. Welcome to another episode of Alta Call. I am your host, Tane, here to talk about Love is Blind Sweden, Season 3, Episodes 1 to 4. I am doing this solo because Brian is out on vacation. I don't think I've ever done a Love is Blind recap by myself, so this is a new territory for me. And glad to have you guys listening to this. If you are watching or if you're not watching and just listening to the recap, it's been interesting. There's a lot of drama, but I also think that it's not feel good. It's unhappy. A lot of these couples don't seem to be happy, and it's not fun watching unhappy people. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Why did you even sign up for the show? And I don't have the scope of how, Sweden is, if it's like the way America is now, where everyone is clout chasing when they come in a reality show. But it's just seems like these people don't know what they signed up for or don't know what they want in a relationship. So that's my only thing. I am kind of bummed that Brian doesn't get to do this with me because the triangles are triangulating heavy, and you know that Brian loves him a triangle. But I'll get into that. Just want to let you guys know that if you would like to support the pod, patreon.com, you can get bonus episodes on patreon.com/altacallmafs. Bridgerton Part 1, Aid was with me to talk about that. And 90 Day Fiance talked about that before the 90 Days with Jason. And coming up soon, I will be talking about the version of the Tyra, their version of the Tyra documentary, Dirty Rotten Scandals, coming up soon. You can check out the Netflix version on the regular feed. I was there with Raven from Bitches Better. And also, Bridgerton Part 2 is on the regular feed. Aid was back to talk about that. So lots of content, lots of episodes. You can enjoy that on the free feed and on Patreon for bonus episodes. I also want to say, I think I was told that YouTube has a function. I have episodes that come up on YouTube. You can find my page on there, also called MAFS. And I was told that it can auto translate to your preferred language. If anyone wants to test it out and let me know, I know every now and then I do have some international listeners. If it actually works and it's not translating my words into something terrible, let me know, and you can check that out if you would like to. Okay, getting into this, what we're going to do today is talk about some highlights in the pod, talk about the reveals, and talk about their getaway, which as always is in Greece. It's an interesting mix of people. We have a self-deprecating man who fancies himself a funny guy called Daniel. He is 43, and that's the other thing. A lot of the people are older. It's all like late 30s and early 40s, or Daniel might be the only one in their 40s, but a lot of late 30s in there. I'm not sure what's happening, but we have someone who says, I live in Australia. Again, she says, I live in Australia, but she is in Sweden looking for love. She's willing to move back, but the fact is that she lives in Australia. And we have someone else who's like, oh, I just returned from the States. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? We're not even like vetting people. So we see the men, they're truly, truly nervous. We had someone that almost had a panic attack. And then we had someone who couldn't stop himself. He was so nervous that he was just verbal diarrhea all over the place. There is only one black girl in the entire cast. And the Swedish franchise remains the same in that they're the only ones who do a lot of what I call Swanglish, a combination of Swedish and English. They kind of like break away and speak English a lot more than the other franchises. So let's get into some of the triangles and some of the couples that were in the pods. We had Ellen, we had Danielle, and we had Fabian. Fabian is a very sweet man who deserves everything. And he shares a story about losing his parents at 18. And after losing them, he started traveling the world just to, get pieces of the world. And then he started like giving back, to people who were in need. And he was just so sweet. to the point like he was saying that, and she was getting emotional listening to his story, and he thought like he upset her, and he was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. And she's like, no, it's okay. But it's to the point when I said there was someone who almost had a panic attack, it was Fabian, just walking into the doors to start dating, and he just couldn't breathe. I will say, you know how they have like resting bitch face? Fabian's resting face is resting terror face. He just always looks like he's terrified. I, like I said, he deserves everything and he's so sweet. But romantically, I'm just like, would it be annoying to date someone who just looks like they're terrified of their shadow? Because he just always seems scared. Um, I think he's pushing through his fear to be here. And they're not talking about who they're dating because he's dating Ellen and so is Daniel. And he does share with someone that he is dating Ellen, and that was Ludwig. And Ludwig just snitches and shares with Daniel, like, I think we have a problem. Ellen is his number one. Then Daniel and Ellen, they have like a good banter. They have chemistry. There's things going on. Like I said, Daniel is the one who can't stop talking about himself, and he's 43. And Ellen is like, I think we need to make this relationship deeper. Like, you need to dig deep and tell me something so we can connect and relate. He goes back to the quarters and he hears the guys talking about, sharing, moments in their lives. And Daniel is upset, like nothing tragic has happened to me and you're forcing me to say something. And he comes back and he tells Ellen, and he's like, everyone's just talking about sad things that happened to them, but nothing's happened to me. So what am I supposed to do? I can't make up stuff. And I'm glad that Ellen tells him that it's a misconception that you have to have been through deep trauma to talk about meaningful things. Because how did we get here? She just said she wanted a deeper relationship. She didn't say go find something tragic that has happened to you. But then he challenges her though and says like, okay, if a person who had an accident came and shared like a story with you, will they be ahead of me? Which, to his point, I think Fabian just shared that, he lost his parents. It made him find his purpose and what he was doing. And does that create a better connection? And I'm like, this guy doesn't realize that his issue is the attitude, because the same way that he's saying that that person will be ahead, he's the same person that just keeps, he was practically yelling at her. I was like, it's a yes or no question. Just tell me, is it a yes or no? If someone had a tragedy and they shared it with you, wouldn't you be ahead? Because the thing is, why can't you think about the good things that have happened to you? If nothing tragic has happened to you, you can just talk about how, you listen, I live life to the fullest. It's the way I handle stuff, or I try to think positive. Because the thing is, as you get older in life, he's 43, which Ellen does say. She was like, you've lived a long life. A lot of things have happened to you. It's impossible to think that you haven't had life experiences. They don't have to be tragedies. They are just life experiences. And you can share that, like, oh, this happened to me, that happened. Because I think her question was, what has happened to you that made you who you are at this point? So speak about the good things. Speak about all the other things, or what motivates you to just be positive, or why you think you have a blessed life or a charmed life. But I don't know. Tragedies add layers to people, yes. But if that's not your case, then you should have the opposite of that, of the good things that have happened in your life. He does flip it on her and it's like, it sounds like you're just looking for someone to take care of. Like you just want someone who has been through something so you can come in there and swoop in and take care of them. I'm like, that's diabolical, but okay. Um, so it's between Daniel and Fabian. The thing is, I don't know if there's romantic chemistry between her and Fabian. And I do think that the fact that Daniel said that she's looking for someone to take care of, I think that's stuck in her head. Because Daniel was like, you want to be a caretaker. She goes back to the quarters and is telling the girls. And it just seemed it's almost like she was offended by it. Like you feel like I can't connect with someone unless something bad has happened and unless I can come in and swooping and save the day. Ellen does dress like, I don't know, Alice in Wonderland is what comes to mind. This is just a random thing that I noticed. But ultimately, going back and forth on that, thank God she chooses Fabian for many reasons. I do think that anytime she talks to Fabian, she is lighter, she is happier, her voice goes up one octave. And also, I don't think that if she broke Fabian's heart, I don't think he would survive it. Like, I don't think he would. Coincidentally, when she breaks up with Daniel, Daniel has already started talking to someone else, Johanna, which is coming up soon. And he suddenly decided that, yeah, he woke up this morning and he had Johanna on the brain. Allegedly, it's a lie. I don't believe him. Okay, I shouldn't say it's a lie. I don't believe him. He has been saying that he has a connection with Johanna, but Ellen has been his number one all this while. My read on the situation is that he just kind of like didn't want to be dumped, and he didn't want the story to be like, oh, Joanna is like, oh, am I second choice? Like, you didn't want her. So he's like, yeah, like, it's a good thing like you said that. We're on the same page. Like, you go be happy. I'm going to be happy. He comes back into the quarters knowing that Fabian is there. And then he gives the story in a different way with a little twist, saying that, he was making it sound like he was being benevolent, like he didn't want to waste anybody's time. And then he throws out like, we broke it up mutually, we broke up, but I don't know if like she broke up with me for you, or if she's going to be out, or like she's leaving. And I'm like, why would you say that? This man is already terrified. So then he goes on his date, that's Fabian, and they have a fake out because Fabian goes in and Ellen's seat is empty. She is not there. And I'm like, oh my God, after all of this, she is not going to be here for him. But then she walks in and then he proposes, and that was it. They are going to have their reveal. I do think he needs to fix his hair, though. It's giving Simone Griffith on Grey's Anatomy. If you watch Grey's Anatomy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, the next square triangle: Johanna, Ibrahim, Anila, and Daniel. So Ibrahim was talking to Anila and Johanna at first, but then he decides that he just wants to go all in with Anila. So he dumps Johanna early. Johanna is the one who lives in Australia and has come back, and it says that she's willing to move if she finds someone that, she likes to in Sweden. And Johanna wants to go home. She's like, if it's not Ibrahim, it's Ibrahim or bust. And she wants to go home, but all the ladies encourage her to stay. In fact, someone was like, I think Daniel is going to be good for you. And they start having conversations. The thing is, she lives in Australia. His family has a vineyard over there. So they connect on that, but he still says that he has Ellen as number one. The guy who snitched on Fabian is Ludwig, or Luddy, as they call him. And I just think he's obsessed with Daniel. He's just always like his shadow. He's just always around him and always wants to be around him. And he's just always encouraging him in whatever journey that he's going through. We'll talk about Ludwig because he has two women too on him. So Ibrahim is scared because now all his eggs are in Anila's basket. And unfortunately for him, she's the it girl of the pods. Everybody wants to talk to Anila. But lucky for him, it is reciprocated, and she does like him, and she ends things um, with everyone else and decides to focus on him. She is into music, and she writes him a song and said that, I'm going to sing it for you. And thank God she can sing because he's touched by it and it sounded good. Before he went into their date, he did say, I don't want to propose yet. I'm not ready. I want to know more. I want to know what it feels like before I want to feel like it's someone I can spend my life with before I propose. But y'all, I think the song was that good because as soon as the song was over, he proposed. So, and that's it. So from that moment, Johanna and Daniel started focusing on each other after Ella broke up with Daniel. So they bond, they laugh, they do all the things. And then she tells him that she wants to be deeper and shares with him that she has endometriosis and might need IVF to have children. And if he is open to adoption. And he was like, I don't care. Like, I just want to be happy with the person that I'm with, and we can figure that out and we can be parents whatever way it looks like. So we have Aaron and Angelica. Aaron is a basketball player who I forgot to look up because I was going to look up to see, like, was he like, how those people come on, kind of like Alex, like, oh, I was an athlete and all that. And then some of them, they were on the bench or they never really, they were not first call on the sheet. Well, that's for actors. But I just wanted to find out what level of basketball playing he is. He is a very tall man. He is 6'9". And he does share with Angelica that he's starting a business, but he was honest that he basically wants someone to build with him. And then that gives Angelica pause because she's like, I'm looking for stability. I'm not looking for Build-A-Bear convention and figuring out where we're going to be, he does share that he didn't grow up well with his dad. And, she's, again, still worried about the apartment, but he's like, he has an apartment that he bought. So at least he has that. I don't know. But she's going back and forth on that, on whether that's going to work for her. But ultimately, she listens to her heart and she's like, I want to be with him. Okay, we have Hannah and Camilla and Ludwig. These are the two women who are dating Ludwig. Ludwig is the one who I'm saying is so obsessed with Daniel. It's his birthday, and they both make him a cake. Unlike other places where we're like, I'm not telling you who I'm dating, they both decide to make him a cake. And I would like to point out that they were both asking each other, what's his favorite color? The question we ask all the time, what do they talk about in the pods? I just think it's a basic thing to know. Like, you guys are claiming to fall in love or claiming to like each other. You should know the color. At least one of you should know the color, but they didn't. Ludwig wears transition lenses. It bothers me a lot. There's no rhyme or reason. It just bothers me a lot. They're indoors all the time and it's just always transitioned. And he can't sit still. He says like he's just all over the place. He's everywhere. He has to keep moving. He has to go around. And just as I was about to say, like if Brian was here, Brian would definitely say like, oh, he has ADHD. But he beat me to it because Ludwig has a conversation with Hannah and he tells her about it and says like because of that, he could be more difficult to live with because of having to navigate all of these things. And she goes, it's not a problem. I have it, sometimes, so I can understand it. So we can work through it. So Hannah was his number one for a while, but then he gives them a gift. On the same day, he buys both of them a gift, tells Hannah that she's so special. He wouldn't give her a gift if she wasn't special. Then she finds out that Camilla also got a gift because she comes back and she's like, oh, my date was great and it was fun. And Hannah goes back and is like, what's that about? Like, why did you make me feel special if you still haven't decided? And I'm your number one, but your number two is getting the same thing as me. And I think that swayed him. He decides that he wants to be with Camilla because she's more easygoing and Hannah wears her heart on her sleeve, which is a negative for him. I will add that Camilla has never had a boyfriend and he said that was not a problem because she was honest with him about that. And she said, it is not a problem. We have Danette, Ronya, and Lars Eric. Danette is the only Black woman that I mentioned earlier in the entire experiment. I don't think we have a Black man on there. I don't think I noticed any in the background. I think I saw some people who looked biracial, but Danette is the only Black woman in the group. So Lars Eric is a Christian. He says he wants a Christian, but then he meets Ronya, and Ronya is not Christian. She makes that very clear, but she gives him so much joy. Danette is a Christian. She is stunning, guys. I'm not just saying that. She is stunning. In fact, there's a guy, I don't think he made it past the pods. He was talking to Lars Eric and he was like, I feel like Danette is a real African beauty and I love that. I don't know how he knows that. They must have had a conversation. Oh, love is not blind for these people. They talk about their heights. They talk about, for him to know that she's an African beauty. Even we don't know that. Like, we never got to see. She didn't get a lot of screen time per se, just the times that she talked to Lars Eric. And he was like, oh, the guy was telling her like, oh, I love that about her. They didn't know, Danette and Ronya didn't know that they were both dating Lars Eric until Danette accidentally, I say in quotes, said his name. And Ronya suddenly is just like, what is this? Like, I didn't want to know this. I don't know how to handle this. And then it was like, oh, I didn't mean to. It just slipped out. But I don't know why they are wasting our time. Like, I'm annoyed with these people because Ronya and Lars Eric do not align on religion. In fact, there was a time when they were talking about their religion and sexuality, and Lars Eric said something like, doesn't it bother you how people don't even care and they're just sleeping around and doing things? And Ronya is like, what are you talking about? Like, it sounds like you're being judgmental because I don't care what other people do with their bodies, so I don't know why you should bother. And then he backpedals and is like, no, I don't mean that. I don't care. And, the usual. I have friends who, when we go out, all they talk about is sex and, it's fine. Because he's celibate. He's been celibate for 3 years. So he's not even planning to have sex. And when he did say that he was celibate, Ranya's eyes nearly fell out her head. So I don't know why they're wasting our time. But immediately she found out about Darnett, she definitely amped it up in the pods for her date. And she was just like, "Oh, I really like you. I really do. We get along so well." And Lars Eric is saying this thing about, should my decision be faith based or based on my heart? I'm like, sir, if your religion means a lot to you, your heart should be guided by the spirit, which is your faith. So what are we? I hate wasting my time because clearly you're not a good match. But not surprisingly, because I did not expect him to pick her, he doesn't pick Darnett and he picks Rania. And it just annoys me that he keeps saying, like, I don't know if God is testing me or testing my faith. How is God testing you or testing your faith? You came on a show to find love. You found someone who shared the same faith and values with you, but somebody else was giving you more intrigue and God is testing you with that. Ugh, guys, I'm so annoyed by the whole thing. So those are all the triangles that we have, I believe. So I'll take a quick break and I'll come back and share with you about the reveals.
Over the course of my life, there have been so many women that have had an impact on my life, whether it's my mom, my aunts, my best friend, or mentors in my career. And I'm sure if you think about it, it's the same for you. But that's no surprise because everyone knows that women are the backbone of the home and society in general. But the many roles that women hold comes with its own pressures and mental load that can be isolating, and that's where therapy comes in. Therapy can help create balance, set healthy boundaries, and support overall well-being for everyone. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com. Watching our loved ones age is one of life's toughest transitions, and a lot of people are part of the sandwich generation where you have to take care of young kids and aging parents. I've been through it, and I've also seen some of my friends overwhelmed trying to balance kids, career, and home while realizing they can't do it all alone. It's a lot to carry. If you don't know where to start, Care.com is here to help you breathe again. You can browse background checked in home caregivers or explore local senior living communities. At Care.com, you'll find specialized support for everything from meal prep to support for loved ones with dementia, backed by real reviews from families just like yours. And Care.com has safety in hiring tools so you can hire with confidence. Or you can even get a senior care advisor plan and talk to a master's level social worker to build a personalized care plan. I'm partnering with Care.com because it really is an easier way to find help. For a limited time, go to Care.com and use code AltacallMAFS for 20% off your initial Care.com subscription or a senior care advisor plan. That's AltacallMAFS, all one word. With Care.com, start your senior care journey with confidence.
Do you live for Sunday dinner and that slow-cooked all-day flavor of a pot roast that falls apart with a dull spoon? Thanks to Omaha Steaks, I'm never shy about the proteins when it comes to Sunday dinners at our house. Every steak is aged to perfection to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. Get 50% off the world's best everyday protein. Go to omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their semi-annual sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code YUM at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to https://omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their semi-annual sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply.
And I am back. Okay, so our first reveal is Anila and Ibrahim, and they come out. They're both smiling. They hug. They kiss. She was like, "Oh my God, you don't have hair," and he was like, "Well, you didn't ask." So they follow the rules, and they don't know. She goes, "You're handsome." He says, "You're beautiful." He said he feels lucky to be with her. And this is in their confessionals after. And she's like, "He has no hair, but it doesn't matter. He's handsome." So she just wants to run away and start a life with him. So that was good. Then we have Aaron and Angelica. Remember, Aaron is the basketball player who is 6'9" and is not sure about, the stability, and he wants someone to build with him. When the doors open, Angelica is literally hyperventilating. Like, she can't breathe. She's like exhaling in and out. Her eyes are not open. He has to actually draw her in, and she still keeps her eyes closed. And then he hugs her. He tells her it's okay. And then she's also crying. Then she starts to laugh, and then they kiss, and they have chemistry. You can actually see that through the screen. And then he proposes. So something I don't think I have seen before in that I'm seeing for the first time in the Swedish franchise is in the room at the back, there's like a whole like stack of rings. This is like, I want to say about 20 or more like rings. So the guys go over there and then they pick which one that they're gonna give to their fiancés. I guess it is, now that I'm thinking about it. How do they know the ring size? So I don't know if it's just props and they already know what they're gonna do. But I just thought it was pretty cool that we get to see the whole array of rings that they pick from. Okay, so she tells him, "You look kind." And I'm wondering if he's the first man to not wear a suit. Probably not. He's wearing just like a black shirt and black pants. That's it. But for someone his size, it's probably so difficult to find suits that it's like, I'm saving my suits for a special occasion. So she says that she's so sorry. She's not saying anything, that she just wants to feel this moment. He thinks that she's so beautiful, but he's wondering if he deserves her. She says that she's happy and wants to be with him. And I like them, but I'm just a little worried about his self esteem if he's just going to keep bringing this up or feeling like he doesn't deserve her. And we'll see how that goes. Okay. We have Ronja and Lars Eric, the couples that I really don't like at all. Ronja is 36 and Lars Eric is 35. And as I said earlier, they are annoying me a lot because I just think that they're a mismatch. And this man keeps asking if God is testing him. Well, they meet each other. You know what? Lars Eric is actually cute, guys. If you watch Survivor, I would say he looks like Austin from, I want to say it's 47, but I'm probably wrong. But the one where D is the winner, he looks like Austin. But he's cute. Like, and Rana is cute too. And that's the thing. I think the cast this season is, for the most part, yeah, they're attractive. So she tells him he's beautiful, and she wants to say something, and then he's like, stop, that before she gets a kiss, there's something that she needs to hear, that he hasn't kissed a woman in years, but also she'll be the last woman that he gets to kiss. And I'm like, way to set the mood, dude. But he had written something. He said he'd written her, I thought it was a letter, but it was just a little thing in the ring box just saying like she's an amazing woman. So she reads it. As she's reading it, he proposes and then they kiss. She keeps calling him a computer geek, but then he says like afterwards, like, she's incredible. God is good. This is what he came here for. To me, she was not as giddy. She says in the confessional that there is love between them, but she just needs her emotions to kind of, settle down before she can really know what it is that she's feeling. Next we have Camilla and Ludwig. Ludwig is the one who I think is up Daniel's ass and is the one who picked Camilla. Camilla is the one who's not been in a relationship, and he picked her because he has more fun with her, and Hannah wears her emotion in her sleeves. Camilla is 33 and Ludwig is 31. She looks so good. She wore like a red dress, and then we're going to see 3 in total in this, but she just really looked good. And he looked like he was going to a chess match with his boys. He had like white sneakers, some weird jacket, sweater, cardigan thing. And did he? No, he didn't wear his transition lenses because I was like, oh my God, that would totally ruin it for me. I worry for her because she kept saying, I've never been chosen. And just because you've never been chosen doesn't mean that the first one to choose you is the best person for you. But she's excited that she's been chosen. They see each other, they kiss, he proposes. And afterwards, he says he's ecstatic and thinks that she's beautiful. And she's just like, my whole personality is being single, which I don't know. That's funny to me that she said that. And now she's engaged, and the thought of marriage, now it just feels heavy. And I'm like, what? What are you saying? You went through all this, but that's how she feels. Next, we had Fabian and Ellen. Fabian is the one who I told you that he's terrified of his own shadow. And Ellen is the one who dumped Daniel because it's like she was looking for depth and he wasn't providing depth. Fabian is 37 and Ellen is 28. I think Ellen is the youngest person that moved forward in the pod. They're excited to see each other. They give each other a big hug. There was no kiss. Y'all know how I feel when there's no kiss. And she says, "You're so beautiful." And he says the same. He proposes and he's on one knee and he's like, "Will you marry me?" And Ellen starts to glitch. I'm like, "What? Are they faking out again?" Because she showed up at the time. He's like, "Will you marry me?" And the episode ends. That was like, I think, episode 3. And they come back and she's just like, "I don't think I'm ready. Like, I wanted to be, but I'm not. And this happened way too fast. And this is what I mean by, do these people even know what show they signed up for? They only have a couple of weeks. You're supposed to date for 10 days, go on your getaway, live in an apartment, and have it out. The US is on its 10th season. Sweden is on its 3rd season. Pretty sure they know what they're supposed to do. What is happening too fast now? The timeline has not changed this entire time. So this man was just frozen. He was frozen on his knee because at first I was like, just say yes. Like, you're taking too long, and he's on his knee. He needs to get up. But he's frozen and he's still, on his knees. And he said he was in love because he said that. I think that sparked it in her. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not in love with you." But also, I kind of think that maybe she was hoping, like, if he's cute, then that's a sign, and then I'll keep trying. And then maybe he's not ugly by any means. Like, he's a decent looking guy. He just needs to take care of his hair. I don't know what's going on with his hair, but he is cute. At least I think so. And I think maybe he didn't work for her. And she was like, "Yeah, nah, I can't do this." Or maybe she could feel his aura of him just always being terrified. He just looks like he's always on the verge of breaking into tears and just crying. So she gets on the floor with him. She is sobbing at this point. She's like, "I wish this could be different." And he looks so heartbroken, guys. Oh, it was so sad. It was so sad to watch. You could see that he was trying to keep it together, and I felt so bad. She leaves. She walks away, still crying. The ring is still on the floor, or the ring box. He looks at it. He walks away from it. He's like, I couldn't even be bothered. He makes it to the back room and he starts hyperventilating to the floor. He is literally holding his heart. His hand is to his chest. He's trying to breathe. He's trying to just like get himself together. Because you can see like he was trying to hold it while she was breaking up with him, while he was on one knee holding a ring. Guys, this is so humiliating. We're all in on it. It's not like a private thing. And as he's like hyperventilating on the floor, I'm like, somebody hold this man. Give him a hug. Producers, break the fourth wall and just be with him. But he got himself together and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do what I need to do." And instead of giving him a hug, it's reality TV. The next thing we see is he's doing a confessional. And I know it's right after because his eyes are red and he's wearing the same clothes that he was wearing for the reveal and for the proposal. And he says, "Maybe love is not for me." So sad. He's been through so much. We have Daniel and Johanna. They're the last couple to do the reveal. Daniel is the guy that's 43, can't stop talking, and feels like since he has no tragedy, then there's nothing deep for him to talk about. Johanna is the one who lives in Australia and is willing to move if she finds someone that she likes. And she's 37. They meet. They keep, he keeps saying, like, "You look fantastic. You look fantastic." And then they kiss. I swear I saw her pull back and quickly she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to get lipstick on you." She drags him to sit. He hasn't even proposed. I'm like, okay, what's happening? Then he gets there. He can't stop talking. And I feel like Daniel wears makeup. I can't tell, I'm not sure is what I'm trying to say, but I feel like he wears makeup. But he's also very handsy. He's the kind of person that talks to you and is trying to touch. So he's touching her all over, like while he's talking and just saying whatever it is that Daniel says. Then he remembers that he has to propose. So he drags her back out into the aisle, I guess, and then proposes. And then he kisses her again. And again, guys, I swear she pulled back. And they go back and they do their confessional. She says like he was so lovely. I'm like, huh, okay. And that then she says he turned out better than she imagined, and she just wants to go out and meet him all over again. So I guess I read it all wrong, but if you're watching, I want to know what you think, because I swear she just felt like, huh, what is going on? He, on the other hand, is ecstatic. She's also another person who's wearing the red dress and she looked great. And he's like, this was a 10 out of 10. I couldn't have asked for anything better. So that's it for all the reveals, all done. There's no one that I'm really like, oh, these guys, I just want them to work. I'm just like, everyone feels like they're tolerating each other, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to take another quick break and I'll be right back for their getaway in Greece.
People sometimes talk about GLP-1s as a way to cheat weight loss, but what they don't talk about is how they're a powerful healthcare tool that's now becoming more accessible than ever with the new FDA-approved GLP-1 pill now offered at Ro. Starting a GLP-1 journey with a Ro Body membership comes with great benefits, such as 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA-approved medications, free insurance check, side effect management, dosing support, and more. With all these benefits, this is what I would use if I ever considered a GLP-1 journey. In addition to the newly approved pill, Ro also offers a full suite of the most effective brand name FDA-approved GLP-1s, all at the lowest cost. Go to ro.co/alter to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. That's ro.co/altar to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety. That's ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medication.
Okay. The last red dress that we see is from the host. For those of you who might not know, Sweden is the only one that has a host that is a single person. Not single as in relationship status, like it's just one person. It's not a couple that is doing it. Well, I guess it is a relationship status. No, it's not, because it's not her person. Sorry, I'm airing out my thoughts as I'm talking about this. It's one woman who hosts the show, and she's wearing also a very lovely dress with a fantastic backdrop of Greece as she talks about them coming here for the getaway to see if their physical attraction is there. Danielle and Johanna, Danielle is just like, we've talked enough. I am ready for the physical. And it looks like the day they arrived was her birthday. And he, kind of got her flowers, got her a gift. I'm still getting vibes that she's not into him, but her words are saying that she is. So I really trust my instincts, but nothing she's saying on the screen is affirming the instincts that I'm getting. So I'm confused myself. She does give him a gift. She gives him a ring, an engagement ring, and she gives him a key. And I think it's a key to her place over there. So he's very ecstatic, very happy about it. They're under like a blanket. He, again, being all handsy with her. Rania and Lars Eric. She wants to know how everyday life will be with them. And she says that he did something that scared her. And I'm like, what? Lars Eric is like a puppy dog. He just wants to be in Rania's orbit. And she says the note that he wrote when he was about to propose to her, saying that she was an amazing woman and I love you, that it hurt her. I'm like, what am I missing? And if this was in the regular world, she would have run. I'm like, huh? She says she feels like she's being love bombed. And I'm like, what? These new age rules, like she wants them at a calmer pace. I'm screaming at my TV. How do you have a calmer pace when you are on Love is Blind? What am I missing? He tells her like she's amazing many times. I'm not going to lie. He does say that a lot. But again, he's just infatuated with her. He says like, I hope you want to marry me at the end of this. And then it's breakfast the next day. He says it again and says, I hope that you can feel the same way about me at some point. And she's like, oh, you're beautiful and I'm attracted to you. And then she goes, can I kiss you? And then they do kiss. And then she tells him that, they're moving fast. And if that what she's been feeling is like, she feels like, is there going to be more? That she wonders, like, if she felt more, would it be real? Then she says that she's thinking like, is it that we're going to be best friends or is there more? And Lars Eric's eyes almost fall out his head. Like, what? He thinks they're in La La Land and has no idea that she's feeling this way and is like, yeah, I'm not quite there yet. So he doesn't say anything though. He's just his eyes just pop out, and then that's it. Anila and Ibrahim, he seems to be quite fixated on what she thought that he looked like before they met. So I don't know if he's getting a vibe like maybe she's not into him, so he needs assurance a lot. So I don't know, because he brings up he's bald, and then he brings up the whole being bald, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't care, about that. Like you're cute." So I don't know why he keeps bringing up, what she thought. Aaron and Angelica are going well. They just have flirty banter. They're by the pool and they're having fun, and they just talk about different things. So it's okay. It's a good vibes, but I'm still stuck on the whole her wanting stability and him building. So I don't know how they're gonna cross over that. Ludwig and Camilla, the switch up is real. Camilla is suddenly like she feels the pressure of getting married. I should add, like Ludwig is yes the one who has the transition lenses, but he's the one who's not like he's decent, but he's not like, oh, drop dead handsome. So I don't know again if that plays into it because they're not saying that in confessionals, but so I'm left to just guess because I don't know what the issue is. She's like she wants to feel comfortable to have sex, she just doesn't want to check the box. And he asked her, like, are you uncomfortable? Do you feel uncomfortable when I want to like give you a hug or a kiss? And she's like, yeah, I don't feel uncomfortable, but I do think that couples that are touchy feely are annoying. Oh my God. The reason why he picked her was because even in the pods, even for me, she was so like easy breezy, so like, let it flow. It felt like that. I did not get the impression that she was a take it slow person, but y'all know the drill. Once you take it slow, it's not because you're a take it slow person. You're not attracted to the person and you don't know how to say it. Because if you're a take it slow person, why are you on a show that's sped up for weeks? This is why I tell you guys, I don't know if they knew the rules of the show before they came on this season. She says maybe it's because they don't know what they are. I'm like, you are fiance and fiance, in case no one told you what you are. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was in that moment that Ludwig was probably like, yeah, I should have stuck to my gut and picked Hannah. But, these people are just trying to get a vacation and they do whatever it is that they can to get picked. Because once they find out like their competition and what's going on, they're like, okay, time to amp it up. And then they switch their minds, and honestly, they deserve what they get when they switch their minds. So I don't feel bad for Ludwig. All right, so that was the highlights for that. And then it comes the moment where all the couples are going to meet. They have a barbecue that's going to be on the beach. Johanna and Ibrahim meet. I mean, it was a triangle, but it's uneventful. It's not like a brief situation where it's like, we all dated each other. We need to have closure. Honestly, I had to go recheck that they actually were dating and Ibrahim dumped Johanna, but nothing happened over there. And Nila says that her impression of Camilla, this is Camilla that's with Ludwig, is that she likes older men. So they're the most surprising couple for her. They did not do a good job of letting us know why Camilla likes older men. As far as we know, she's only been in situationships. She's never been in a relationship. So what did she share with them or tell them to let us know that Camilla likes older men? Rania, who has been even killed all through the whole thing, is suddenly wide awake when she meets Aaron. She can't stop saying how hot he is. Aaron is with Angelica, and Angelica allegedly is, or apparently, her best friend in the pods. And she's just going on about, wow, he's so hot in the confessional. In fact, the word she uses that he is magnificent. She even goes to Angelica and is like, oh, he's so sexy. He's so hot. I'm like, are we crossing boundaries here? And then they cut over to Lars Eric, her fiance, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what the other women look like. I only have eyes for one woman. I'm like, yikes, yikes. It's so weird. She can't stop talking about Aaron because even when he comes around, she's like, it must be so nice to have someone so tall. You must feel protected. When we go to the club, he will protect us. And I'm like, all right, down, girl. Just relax. But Aaron is like, yeah, I'm not going to the club with you guys. So I don't know what you're talking about. Ludwig is envious of how affectionate Danielle and Johanna are. I told you he's obsessed with Danielle. And, physical touch clearly is his love language because he can't stop talking about that. Ludwig tells Ibrahim that he didn't think it was a problem that she's never had a boyfriend, but now things are coming up where she's just like, okay, maybe because I don't know, this is what things are supposed to happen. I'm like, listen, it doesn't matter whether you have a boyfriend or not. Like, you don't suddenly learn on the fly that oh, because you've never had a boyfriend, you don't know that your boyfriend would like to be touchy feely with you. That's not a I've never had a boyfriend thing. Like, that's 101, basic. So all the couples are together, they're all being affectionate, and Camilla and Ludwig are separate. And he comes, like, he has like his beer and he's watching her. I don't know if it's editing, and he's trying to decide, should I even go there or should I go away? But they don't sit together, and she's not even making any effort to sit with him. But with all the couples being affectionate, I'm like, well, you say you find them annoying. Do you find them annoying? I wish the producer had asked her that. Like, I watching all these couples around, are you annoyed? Do you want to go back to your room? Angelica tells Lars Eric that it's wise for him to go slow because he's been telling everyone that him and Rania are two peas in a pod, like they get along so well. It's like watching the female version of him, and they have no issues. And I'm like, were you not there? But Angelica, who is Rania's best friend in the experiment, tells Lars Eric that it's wise to go slow considering what she's been through. And he's like, what has she been through? I have no idea. And I'm like, wow. What do these people talk about in the pods? Like, I just. Anyway, somehow Rania has found herself talking to Aaron. Coincidentally. And they're speaking, and she just looks like she wants to eat him up. And then asks, like, how are you feeling? If you were to get married today, would you get married? And he says yes. And he's saying like he really likes Angelica or is really into her. And I'm like, Rania, these are all the things that you're complaining about, that Lars Eric has too much feelings. Well, he has feelings for your girl. So why is that not a problem? Why is that okay? Because she keeps saying like they look so cute together and she likes them together. So he asks about her, how is it going? She says like yesterday was a difficult day, tells him what happened about the note. But again, Love is Blind is 6 weeks. I don't know how much slower we can go. They show us again, they're doing this thing where anytime she talks about them, they show him telling people that everything is good. And he's like, yeah, we're two peas in a pod, even if she doesn't want to spend time with me at this party. So Johanna shares that she has feelings, but they're on different pages when it comes to physical intimacy. Alina says, can't you share this with Daniel, how you're feeling? And she's like, no, I don't want to scare him away. Again, guys, you see, these are people who I don't know if they're ready for relationships. How can you say you're engaged to someone, but you're scared to talk to them and you'd want to scare them away by keeping quiet? Not good, not good. So those are the highlights that happened at the barbecue. They're all back to their rooms, and Rania brings up Aaron again, saying how cute they were together. She's telling Lars Eric. I think earlier he had done something where she was like, you're interrupting me. And that's true. He does interrupt her a bit. Like whenever she's talking, he just interrupts her and gets ahead of himself and says what he wants to say. He does share that he would have liked to spend more time with her at the barbecue and maybe get a hug and a kiss every now and then, that he doesn't have any issues with it, but just like for her to know in the future. If she's having an ick because he's love bombing her, my issue with him, he's eating yogurt at this particular time. And it's so ick, guys. There's like yogurt in his mouth. He's talking with his mouth full. And there's like yogurt all over his lips. And it's just, ugh. She does point it out to him. It's like, oh, you have yogurt everywhere. And then he kind of gets it back together. But then we're back to seeing his whole mouth full of plain yogurt. So Aaron tells Angelica that he is in love with her in the room. And I'm like, again, is Rania going to find this scary and wrong, since, she loves them together, but in her relationship, it's a red flag that he's in love with her. Ludwig brings up physical contact with Camilla and, the classic moves. I move slow. And again, this switch up is crazy. Ludwig brings up, the validation through physical. Again, this is another day. I'm just rounding out their story, and that, what's happening right now between them doesn't feel good. They're sitting in the balcony and he's talking to her. She's getting some sun and she doesn't even open her eyes for the conversation. She's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I've noted what you said, but I'm going to go, at my pace. And she's like, I am a physical person. I just have to get there before I can become a physical person. So while he's still talking, she gets up and she moves her chair to get a better tan and be more directly towards the sun. And he just looks at her. I actually thought he was going to say, I can't do this anymore and I'm going to go home. But that's not what happens. And that was just silence. And we just watch them in silence as she gets her tan. And he's like, okay, I guess the conversation is over. Johanna says that she feels disconnected from Daniel and wants to talk more, but depth is not Daniel's strong suit. She says she's an open book, but the thing is, she doesn't know if there's interest from him, and that's why he's not asking any question. Then the next thing we see is Rania and Lars Erik fighting because he asked for a kiss. I believe, when someone annoys you, all of a sudden everything becomes a fight because he's apologizing and saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry that I asked for a kiss. I just wanted to spend time with you." It was unclear to me whether he was talking about the barbecue because he came over when she was talking with Aaron and was kind of like, "Hey, I need your attention. Can you put some sunscreen on here?" And it was just so obvious that he was just like, "Why are you guys talking for so long? And why aren't you spending this time, with me?" So, he says he cops it. He takes blame on that it has nothing to do with her. It's his insecurities. And then she finally shares about the love bombing and shares that the last relationship that she was in, the person was love bombing her. And then 2 months later, they were just like, "Yeah, I have no interest in you." And then they dumped her. And again, I honestly can't believe we're arguing about someone feeling too much for her on a show where you get married in a few weeks. And she's like, "Am I ready for something serious?" And I'm like, "Am I in the Twilight Zone?" Like, what do you mean? Anyways, he says he doesn't think it's a big problem, that they just need to learn each other. They need to know each other's weaknesses and work with it, and they'll be all right. So she says she doesn't know if she's building walls for the right or wrong reasons. They do kiss, so I guess they have some form of resolution. They kiss each other, and they end on a good note. Daniel and Johanna go on a date, and she's told us that she wants more conversation. She wants him to ask questions, to basically just act like he's interested in her. And they bring their food, and she drops a hint about the curries and was like, "Oh, this curry reminded me of my time in Sri Lanka." And he doesn't even follow up with anything. He just flips to, "How's your sauce? Do you like your sauce?" Like, "Oh, I wish it had more garlic," and that. She tries again. They have like lavender on the table. She's like, "I love lavender." And he goes, "Yeah, I love tulips. Those are the tulips that I have in my house." And then he goes on another tangent. Then she tries again and was like, "I used to grow sunflowers with my dad when I was growing up. It's one of my memories of him." And he's like, "Really? Where I play golf, you can get sunflowers on there. Can you get this and that?" And I'm like, whoa. That's 3 hints that she's dropped, and he was not picking up what she was putting down. She calls the producer over because Daniel is like, "I'm going to go to the restroom." He calls the producer over. She calls the producer over and is like, "Before you came to get us for this date, Daniel tells me that he doesn't know if he wants to continue, that he might want to leave. And I don't know what to do right now." And that's how the first batch of episodes ends. And I'm like, there's a lot of drama, a lot of mess, but not a lot of love that is going on. And the coming up episodes don't look any better. Everyone just looks upset. There definitely is no Vic and Christine going on this season. There is a 5th episode, but honestly, it's just a reaction episode by influencers. They basically gathered a whole bunch of influencers and are having them react to the episodes that they watch. So if that's your jam, you can check that out. And that's the 5th episode that you see in your watch list. Okay, guys, that was it. I will be back with the next batch next week. Let me know all your thoughts as usual. I love hearing from you guys. As usual, please give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until next time, guys. Bye.